Hey, everybody, it's Jamie Raskin calling out to Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District and all of my constituents and friends in Maryland and beyond. Hi, everybody. I've got 4 extraordinary local heroes for you this week. It's my favorite time of the week, of course, when we get to recognize the people that make life here so magical and so delightful. Please welcome Botond Parkanyi, Charles Wang, Salamun Nuhin, and Ainesh Chatterjee. These 4 young men are seniors at Walter Johnson High School, and they are the Congressional App winners in Maryland District 8, which is part of a nationwide congressional competition to come up with the best apps. And they came up with the best app. Wait till you hear all about it. We want to hear what it is, what it does, and how you guys came up with this idea. It's called CoronaSafe. The app is called CoronaSafe. And perhaps let me go first to Ainesh and to Saul. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so CoronaSafe, actually, the idea behind it started out in a hackathon that Sal and I went to back in June 2021. And, around that time, sure, vaccines were out, but not everybody had them. There's still that constant panic, like, hey, if I go out today, if I'm, around people, am I going to go home and find out that I have COVID? Is my family going to get infected? Those kinds of concerns, we all felt them. We knew that everybody around us were feeling them. So we wanted to create a tool that helped people stay more informed about the risk of catching COVID. So our plan started around Google's feature of foot traffic, where they can essentially find any popular location. They usually can provide data about how many people are there, how busy it is over a day, over weeks, et cetera, et cetera. So we were like, okay, let's take that data. And initially the whole product was, let's just show that data in more easy to read manner. And then actually during the hackathon, what happened was we weren't able to access that data because Google didn't release that publicly. So we had to come up with a new algorithm that actually calculates urban density at a particular location. And this was fantastic because it works for any address, not just for a popular place like a mall or an airport, but your own house address. And the way it works is it essentially calculates the number of important places around your house or whatever address within a certain mile radius. And it gets the number of important locations, so something like a mall, airport, coffee shops, those kinds of busy places. Factors in a time weight, so places are more popular usually around 3 to 4 p.m., less popular around 2 to 3 a.m. Those kinds of time weights, combine that together, and boom, you've got an urban density calculation. So for this product, I'm just talking about the algorithm right now. I'll let Solomon do the talking about the maps because he's in a whole different level about that. So for this one, I decided to ramp it up a bit and combined. I figured out how to get the foot traffic data from Google, combined it with this, and essentially made a better algorithm that's surprisingly accurate. And the algorithm, it's not technically a COVID risk rating calculator. What it is it essentially gives you a very accurate measurement of traffic in any location. And that's what makes this so powerful, right? You can apply it to COVID, you can apply it to something like the flu. All you have to essentially do is add in more health data about how easily something can be transmitted. Because at the end of the day, this is just something that gives you the amount of foot traffic at a particular place. You factor in more variables about how a certain illness is spread, and boom, you've got a very accurate risk calculator for almost.
Okay, and so Ainesh, this was the insight that you came up with. This was your concept, right?
This was, again, team effort.
Team effort.
It came up through a lot of discussion, certain aspirations, but ultimately caffeine, and this is what ended up happening.
All right, awesome. So now let's switch over, Solomon, to you. So tell us about the app itself and how it works and how somebody would use it.
So for the app, there are 2 features. One is putting in the address and to calculate the risk calculation for a certain area, while there's also a map feature that has live COVID cases, which I use this API, the CSV file from the New York Times that is put into GitHub And what I did was use Python to iterate through all of the cases historically and sum them up by each state, which gave the live COVID data cases. And for the map part, you input in any address, and just like what Ainesh mentioned about the urban density calculation, it provides like a really accurate calculation of your chances of getting COVID at a certain area.
So can you give us a demonstration or an example of, if you put in Walter Johnson High School, what's going to come back? What are you going to learn about it? And what's it going to tell you to do?
So depending on the time of the day, for like, let's say in the morning where school times are open, it would have a higher risk rate because since the urban density, it's very dense, the population is very dense, everyone's close together. But let's say it's at night, like 8 p.m. where there aren't many people, maybe a few because of extracurriculars or sports, the risk would be vastly lower because of the lack of density in the school. So that's how the algorithm calculated basically the risks.
And is it going to give you like a verbal rating or like a numerical rating, or what's it going to come back to when I use the app?
It's going to give you a numerical rating with the color-coded rating of the risk. So I believe Ainesh, it was
Yeah, so
green
the way that
indicated.
V2 does the rating is it gives two outputs. So it essentially shows a graph, and that's essentially just a bar graph metric. Red, yellow, green, red being high risk, yellow being medium risk, green being low risk. And it also shows like a numerical value 0 to 100 rating on the side for someone if they want more information. And the critical part of why it is so useful, something like Walter Johnson, usually we can predict because we go to Walter Johnson, we know what times are more busy. But this is especially useful like around now, actually, when the holidays are coming up. If somebody's traveling to a new location, a hotel somewhere, and they're planning on going out to eat, they don't know how busy it is. So especially unfamiliar places, this is really powerful. And again,
let me pick up on that point. And Charles, let me turn to you. I mean, does this app work in Maryland or in our region, or does it work all over the country or all over the world, or how extensive is it?
It depends on the data. It shouldn't just work in Maryland, and I'm pretty sure
it works all over the world.
Yeah.
So somebody could be taking a trip to Italy and they can use your app to figure out whether they want to go to a particular place, a restaurant, a museum, what have you.
They can literally search for Starbucks in Italy. It will show them the Starbucks is in Italy. They can choose which one they plan to go to and get a rating for that.
Well, that's really amazing. Botond, are you still there? I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about tell me about what the experience has been like working with this team.
Well, it's been a great experience. I mean, we had a few hardships along the way, but it was really helpful to have the other guys who we divided up the work. So I was the one who worked on the interface of it. So it was really useful to have all the resources and know like I don't have to dig through the code, and I can just ask the others like, how does this work? What does it need to do? They were also really helpful finding resources while I was coding. They could get up new resources, work like help me complete the task faster. So I didn't have to go on online research stuff. I could just continually code, and I was given the information I needed for that.
Well, that's awesome. Now, let me ask a final question. I mean, have you heard from medical authorities or public health authorities or Google about the use of this app more broadly?
Not as of yet. We are actually currently working on a better version of V3 of this app, and we've expanded our team to include Lorenz Riza and Nico Carbone. And Nico is actually our quote front end guy, because all of us pretty much love back end more than front end. So he's actually building a Dart Flutter version of this app that we can launch on iOS, Android, and on the web. And once we have that running, we are probably going to reach out, try and make this more useful, cater to different diseases, et cetera, et cetera.
Awesome. What's the name of the math teacher who posted our competition that got you guys interested in this?
Mr. John Chase.
We thank you, Mr. He's amazing. Yeah, I've heard great stuff about Mr. John Chase. Thank you, Mr. Chase, for broadcasting and educating the kids about our app competition. I want to thank the four of you for your extraordinary insight and hard work. This is an amazing breakthrough. I hope by making you guys local heroes that this will be widely spread throughout our region, and you will get discovered by public health authorities and scientists and doctors, and everybody's eagerly awaiting the third version of the CoronaSafe app. So thank you for what you're doing. I mean, compared to some of the people I go to work with who won't even put a mask on or won't get a vaccine, it's amazing how the young people of our country and of Maryland's D8 are going to save us with their scientific entrepreneurship and their creativity and their experimentation. So thank you all. You are our local heroes as we come to the end of the year.